Good morning, everyone. Today is May the 28th, 2021. This is StockCast, your pre-market show. My name is James Mason, and with me is Todd Derby. Todd, how are you doing this morning?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I am doing outstanding.
Outstanding? That's great.
Man, actually not. I'm getting old, Todd. I'm getting old. I can feel my body aching everywhere.
That's insulting when you say you're getting old to someone who's old enough to be your father. But right now the audience is going, holy cow, he doesn't look that old. So
well, it's crazy that you're 78 years old. I mean,
I look good for 78.
You do.
So don't good eating, good living, it pays off.
Exactly. Oh man, I didn't do my stretches this morning.
Yeah, I hit the power gym and put in a 5K, and I'm good to go, ready to roll.
Yeah. You know what? I think we should get like TT leotards, and we'll make it mandatory company policy that you have to do like morning stretches to avoid injury. And you obviously have to wear your TT leotard.
We could offer a right before the show. We could do like a little 30-minute workout, a virtual workout for a membership.
Oh yeah,
we'll get Johnny to lead that.
Oh yeah, we'll just call this show something like steamy.
Steamy,
not steam. Steamy.
Steamy.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, help us.
All right. Let's get into it. Are you guys ready to rumble? Let's do this. Let's see what we got going on in the comments. Good morning. All right. So currently the Dow futures are up 152 points. S&P 500 up 11.5 points. And we are looking pretty strong to the bullish side today coming out into the market. And that is kind of what I expect for this Friday. But remember, everyone, we have a long weekend. The market is closed on Monday for Memorial Day.
Yay.
So just keep that in mind. If you're trading options, keep that in mind that if you have any options that expire next week, that it will be a short week for you. So let's go ahead and get into it and hit some of the mail call questions that came in. All right. Is ARPO a good play? It broke $1.80 in the pre-market yesterday. Well, I coincidentally already have it on the chart that I've had up the entire time because I didn't change my camera view. And let's just look at this bad boy. So here we are. We can see how it's performing on this daily chart right here. And we'll jump back to 5 minutes a second. So yesterday, we can see pre-market where it went up to about 185, and then the live market went up to about 194. Let's just draw a line right there. And after hours, the day before, we'll draw a line right at 2 to hit that high. But what we really need to look for right in here is you see on this 5-minute chart where it just like rolled over like hardcore. That's a breakout point or breakdown point. Breakout point, depending on which way you want to go with this. So we need to draw a line right there. So the number that we're truly looking for here is breaking above 209. So 209, 210, that's what we need to see before we can see this bullish momentum start to really kind of take back control here and go back up. Now, let's go back to this daily chart right here and see what this looks like. So, you know how I just showed you on that 5-minute chart, breaking above that 209 range to reverse that trend and get back to the bullish side. Obviously, if we gap up right here, we're going to be testing these highs. And once we start breaking above these highs, then that's when we truly start to break out here and start to push up. And let's see, if we break above, we'll just say 210. We break above 210. The next range will be 261. And then 330 after that. So just a little update on their share structure. That's update for short interest, just right at 1 million shares being shorted. 2.4% on the float. Shares outstanding, 47.3 million. The float, 40.8 million. So that share structure is actually pretty decent. And it's also a pharmaceutical company, which they tend to have pretty nice spikes. But I do like this overall daily setup in ARPO. This just one this plays with it being a biopic. You need to really dig in and do your due diligence to kind of see what catalysts they have in the future, and just kind of slowly scale in. I mean, when you're waiting on a catalyst, that ticker is going to be all over the place until they drop that news. So this is ARPO. All right, let's see. For the next one, PRVA, 102 million shares outstanding, and has a free float of 40 million. With them beating estimates, what do I think about the company at these price levels? So per trading view, I really don't have much data. I'm not sure. I haven't traded this company. I'm not sure if they just IPO'd or if this is some kind of merger or whatever it may be, or if it's just bad trading view data. But this is all I can see on their chart, and without not having a lot of data here to go off of, it kind of makes it hard to really gauge this. But what I tend to look for is, especially with like an IPO, I want to, I'll take that value of that first day and I'll take its high. And that is the number that I usually look for to break above before I would consider getting bullish in it. So for me, for ticker PRVA, I need to see it break above $36 to even consider it. Now, while I say that, I hate this PPS value above, really anything in these higher teens. Well, not higher teens, but what I mean is like, it's actually not even teens. Sorry. I hate these higher values of like $30, especially when there's probably not even contracts for this since this looks like an IPO. But with a lot of these companies, if they just recently IPO'd and they're not like a tech company, they'll usually come up here, test their highs again, and then just kind of die off afterwards and really get hammered down. So me personally, without doing any due diligence on this company and just looking at the charts, not really having much data and the overall PPS value, I just have a hard time really considering something like this for a trade. I don't really know what its potential could be with a bullish play here, just because I can't really see, how high it's went up before, and chasing 3 to 4 points right here at its all-time highs, to me, just isn't worth it at this value. So sorry, I don't have like a definite answer, but I'm just going off of all I can see on the chart here. And that is PRVA. All right, Todd. What we have going on in the comments?
Oh, we got quite a few. Good activity in the comments today. Good morning to everyone there. A couple new viewers. Welcome, Michael Broadbent from the Dallas area. Nice to see you join us for morning StockCast. Question from Rebecca asking about BYND.
Hey, Michael. So you're from the Dallas area. You better admit right now, while we're live, that it was BS that the Dallas Cowboys beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in, what was it, the 95 Super Bowl? We're just going to go ahead and handle this officially.
How much money did you lose on that bet?
I was a kid. Didn't have no money. It's a sensitive subject. All right, what were we even talking about? What's this show about?
Rebecca Mallard, good morning. She's asking, can we please discuss BYND? She's getting stock tips from Jim Cramer, it looks like.
Oh, Jesus.
She's looking for some confirmation on his advice.
Well, Rebecca needs to go watch Jim Cramer then.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding. I like Rebecca. All right, Beyond Meat. What's the wrong key? Hold on, I'm just breaking down the chart real quick. Okay, so this is what I see for Beyond Meat on the daily chart right here at the moment. And well, let's talk about yesterday. Yesterday it closed out at $1.40, $1.42.61, and pre-market is right now at $1.50.14. Let's see what pre-market highs we had, and we hit about 154 for pre-market highs. So the first thing that we need to see it do is break back above 154. Well, for me, since I'm not in here in this trade, I'd have to see it break back above 154 before deciding to take a position. Honestly, I just take a small position because there's one thing that stands out to me on this daily chart that I don't like at all, and that is its rapid climb from these lower levels right here between 100 and 110. I mean, you can see it on the daily chart. I mean, just this rapid climb. I mean, it's literally just gapping. This is actually a short squeeze. And at some point, it's going to die. Let me pull up a little bit more info on this first. Okay, so last update for short interest for Beyond Meat, ticker BYND. We'll round it up. 11.8 million shares being shorted. 21% of the float, days to cover 2.8. Shares outstanding 63 million. The float 56 million. Now, how I just said that the short interest was 11.8 million shares with a 2.8 day, recovery period. You got to think that last updated on, I believe it was like May 14th or 15th. And we should be getting new information soon. So really, that last update was those numbers of the firms here shorting it down at this point. And these guys were probably already covering, or at least covering right in here. I have a hard time. Like, let's be honest, like these hedge funds they're not freaking idiots. They're not going to be like, oh, we're getting short squeeze. We're not going to cover. We're not going to take our profits. I mean, we wrote it down from 130 to 100. We're just not going to cover. We're going to we're going to hold on for dear life and short this thing down to zero. These guys, they've already covered. They made their money. I mean, while it's technically squeezing, you know, these guys are jumping out, and that is why it's pushing up so hard. But now we're just to the point to where we have so much money being thrown in by the retail traders. Since the new hype is, let's short squeeze everything. And I mean, trying to jump in and chase it right now, in my opinion, I just can't see it. I mean, we're right up here. We're about ready to test this pre-market high again at 154, and I can't see that momentum continue on. It's gonna have to print a red day, or at least a few red days, consolidate a little bit. So I do kind of see it getting rejected around the 154 range. I could be wrong, but getting rejected around that 154 range, printing a pretty solid red day today, consolidating, and then maybe a few days from now bouncing and then ripping up more just to continue that momentum. But again, I just have a hard time really seeing this thing get hardcore short squeeze and then just keep running up. Also, what I want to point out on this daily chart is, you know, with that rapid climb right there, I mean, look at the RSI. When something shoots from the bottom with the RSI and goes right to the top at 70, it will usually come up here, test this range, and then get rejected, pull back, some cool off, and then make that push up later on, which would confirm what I was just saying about it cooling off, consolidating, and then having one more push afterwards. So that's what I see with ticker BYND.
So it looks like you and Kramer agree. So that's good. It's good that he gets one right every once in a while.
Maybe Kramer will call in one day. I doubt that.
Yeah,
I doubt that.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, everybody picks on him, but honestly, I do enjoy watching this show. I don't know if you ever watched it.
Well,
it's engaging for me. Like,
he's entertaining. He's entertainment.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't get no value out of what he's saying, but it's just like it does hook me. I mean, it is entertaining for me. All right, I saw a question about POAI because this is the POAI show, and okay, so predictive oncology here. Everybody knows that I am, and I know you guys better not be calling me old Jonathan Walker. Let's see what Johnny got to say. Oh my God, how do you use this fancy phone? Hey, what's up? Jonathan Walker. Let's see what Johnny got to say. Hey, turn your YouTube off. There's a 20-second delay. Oh my God, how do you use it?
I was just going to fuck with you during your show.
Well, we're on the show right now.
Hey, are the alerts still good on Twitter?
What a dork.
Well, all right.
You can tell he's not working today. You can tell he's already sipping the bourbon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He probably has a smoker full of ribs or butt roast or whatever he's got going, pork butts going.
Yeah, he probably like made that call from Waffle House. All right. Not even sure what I was saying because Johnny interrupted me. But all right. So predictive oncology. Kind of how, if you guys remember a few days ago when I did an update on this, which could have been yesterday. I don't know. I talk about it so much that my days run together. I mean, this question gets asked, I don't know, so many times. So anyways, it's literally doing, you know, kind of what I was expecting it to do on the daily chart. You know, it made this push up and and it's starting to consolidate right here, which is great. That's what I want to see it do. I want to see it consolidate, slow that little push down, and then gradually get back up here, and then start breaking above, obviously 128, and I want to see it get around 160 before they release a catalyst. That's me in a picture perfect world. And I know some of y'all, and you need to get it out of your heads, I know some of y'all just literally heard James said it's going up to 160 and then they're going to release a catalyst. That's not what I said. But that's how that will be interpreted. That's just what I would like to see in a picture perfect world. Pre-market, we did have a push up to about that 128 level and tested it again, which is good news because that third time we're probably going to break it and take off running. The reason why we had this pre-market gap up is this stupid company that I don't even know. I don't even know if it's a real company or whatever, but it's like this just internet little bio news online company. That's all I can say. I don't even know. They keep doing those podcast interviews with them, which personally I don't like. I mean, the first time it was kind of like, okay, cool, whatever. But I do hope that they're not going to use this as a means of communication, thinking basically being a bunch of cheap asses, and instead of just releasing official PRs. That's what I'm saying here. But essentially, I didn't listen to the podcast. Essentially, from what I took from it, just from reading some of the headlines, was that, I mean, they're literally just talking about the same stuff that we already knew. Now, while I am like super bullish on this, I'm not going to get hyped up over that. It's no big deal. That's obviously why I didn't even bother talking about it coming out the gates of this show. So we're just waiting on official news. Official news is the only thing that matters here, not a podcast that they do. It's kind of irrelevant. And until then, the story remains the same. Stand by, and just watch it on the daily chart. But yeah, that's all that's going on in predictive oncology. All right, Todd. We have time for one more.
Just a quick one then. People are asking about ITRM. It popped up. That's a bio stock that I'm in. So I called out in the Twitter alerts a while ago.
All right. Do you want to go ahead and talk about this one then?
Yeah, just briefly. They announced there's no AdCom necessary, and they have a PDUFA date later in the month of June. So took a little 20-cent pop this morning, and if the PDUFA goes well or the news gets out, this one will jump pretty good, I think. So as these bio stocks, as James mentioned earlier, we're waiting for a catalyst, and we're getting near the date of when this is going to happen, and the FDA is getting caught up on their PDUFA, so that's good. And James will give you the technical analysis where there's some things going on. Yeah, excuse me, it's in July. David Short corrected me. It's the PDUFA is in July. But as people start to hear the news or from the results, or they get an inkling, it'll start to creep up. It'll start to move a little bit.
All right. So let's update on short interest. We're at 4 million shares being shorted, 2.2% of the float. Shares outstanding, 179.1 million shares. The float, 176.1 million. Now looking right here at the daily chart. My predictions on this is once we get closer to that PDUFA date, whether the news is good or not, this thing will start getting FOMO back in it, and we'll start to break back above this 189 range. And my prediction is to hit around that 350 to 365. It could go more, but I mean, we do have 180, almost 180 million shares on the market overall. So that is a lot of money to really push us up here. But how to trade these things, and again, we don't ever know when something is going to just keep on running or where it's going to come up short at. So every ticker is going to be just situational, and especially your entry is going to depend a lot on this. But how to trade these in general is, I'm sure you guys have heard this saying a bazillion times: buy the rumor, sell the news. This is literally buy the rumor, sell the news. Right now is buying the rumor to push it up, and once the news is approaching or the news is released, you sell it. That's exactly what we do with, with all our bio picks that we trade. When we're jumping into something, and let's just say hypothetically here, this is one I'm not in, but hypothetically here, just looking at the chart, I would get in knowing that I'm going to hold this thing for a few months, whatever it may be, and I'm just going to slowly scale in. And of course, at this point, everybody's like, "Oh my God, James, you suck. This thing's going down. Look at the 40-year trend." Dumb shit like that. Like you hear the dumbest crap ever from the dumbest people ever, and they'll be like, "Oh, look at the trend. Oh, their sales numbers." Well, guess what? They don't have sales numbers. They're a research and development company. What the hell are they going to sell? Y'all clearly don't know what you're talking about, because R&D companies never have good sales. I mean, that's just, what are they going to sell? I mean, shit. But that's why I scale into these things, because one, I don't give a shit what they're saying. Two, I know what I'm doing here. I'm slowly scaling in to get my average lower over time, so I'm not going all in the beginning. And I could literally, hypothetically, let's just say this one where it gapped down right here, make the worst entry ever on that first entry, and then keep scaling in over the weeks to come and have a super low average by the time this thing pops off. So this is literally the whole theory of buy the news, buy the rumor, sell the news, and me like scaling in. Hypothetically, let's just say I was scaling in during this long time frame, got my average super low, and then whatever news was coming up right here made this thing pop, and I'm selling. That's how this works.
Well, we know the saying that when the news hits, this is to the moon, to the moon.
Exactly. Exactly. Everybody's like, to the moon. Why is my portfolio red? You have to sell it. You have to sell it. It doesn't matter if they're talking about that they have the cure for cancer of all time. Bio stocks are going to pop and then they're going to drop. It doesn't matter what they're saying they have. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. That's just how it is. It's the craziest world ever. And when you're trading in stock market in general, and more so bio stocks, what logically makes sense in the real world is not how the stock market functions.
Hold on. You said, let me write this down. You said they're going to pop, then they're going to drop.
Mm-hmm. Pop and drop, baby.
Dr. Seuss.
All right, everyone. So we're about 13 minutes from the bell, and we're still looking strong overall in the market. So today's Friday. Just remember, trade safe, and Monday we will not be here. And that's a wrap.
I'll see you guys Tuesday.
Yep. Y'all take care, trade safe, and we appreciate y'all tuning in.